During the summer of 2005, 11 co-op 14 and 15-year-olds embarked upon an intense 6-week journey as they produced a weekly cooking show created by and starring the teens. The show focused on the process of growing, selling, and cooking locally produced food. Each episode featured the teens in the kitchen and working in the community garden, where they cultivated products to use in their dishes. The group went on various field trips to the hardware store for garden supplies, local Humboldt Park grocery stores for kitchen supplies, and to assorted Chicago neighborhoods to learn about and purchase ingredients from other ethnicities. Then it was time to trade in their walking shoes and bus passes for spatulas, frying pans, light sets, and cameras. Guest chefs and an assortment of dishes kept the co-op kitchen bustling throughout.
This is a brine, and a brine is basically something that was used thousands of years ago in order to preserve food. Any type of meat, you know, pork, chicken, beef, whatever type of meat, brine was used to preserve food. So, like, you know, you see foods today with preservatives in them. Those are usually unnatural preservatives, which is why they're bad, which is probably what causes obesity, etc., etc. But this is the natural way to actually preserve a meat. But it also acts as like a sort of marinade, and basically I put you put like about 1.5 cups of salt, anything you really want. You vinegar, brown sugar. With this I put some a couple of limes, a couple of lemons, some horseradish, lots of garlic, and of course salt. And I use kosher salt.
Stop when you get to that.
Which salt should we use?
We should use the kosher sea salt.
Why should we use the kosher sea salt?
Because it got more flavor, and at the end of the taste better with our food. And like kosher, it comes from like the rabbi. It means that the rabbi, which is a Jewish priest, he blessed it. It's just not only from the water, all salt's from the water. It's not only salt from the water.
Okay.
Remember what Mike said, right?
Yeah, I remember.
So there's a couple different types of salt, right? And the salt that we work with often is called the coarse kosher salt, which is good for cooking. It's a bigger grain salt. Yeah. Yeah, it is. It is. And then the salt that we're all used to seeing on tables, you know, at restaurants or stuff that we usually cook with, is this really fine-grained salt, which is iodized salt. And iodized salt is this really fine-grained stuff that has iodine in it. And the reason why they put iodine in it is that the iodine keeps people from getting goiters. So the iodine is it's also something that you put on, you know, cuts. That red stuff that you put on cuts is iodine. But they put it in the salt so people don't get these nasty goiters. You ever seen anyone with a goiter? It's like a big growth on your neck. So they started to put iodine in the salt because it was a goiter is from an iodine deficiency. So they started to put it in here. The thing is you probably get enough iodine in this stuff, the amount of salt that we all eat, right? Because we eat a ton of salt, so it's not something you really have to worry about as much as they used to. But I prefer the kosher salt or the sea salt. And sea salt, there's different sea salts that have different flavors. So.
Welcome to CHi-TownChefs, and I'm Chef Kiki. I'm Chef Nicole. And today we're doing grilled chicken. Brick chicken.
And we aren't using actually a brick, we're using a pot.
Hot chicken.
Yes. And to give you a sort of summary on what we've done thus far, basically we have pretty much doing the chicken in the skillet like that and putting the pot over it. You want, of course, that desired effect, like the nice and golden color. And basically, you're just going to take this pot, and you just want to sit it on top of the chicken. And you can usually put some water in there. It should be okay, it shouldn't fall.
Over here we have jalapeno peppers, bell peppers, red peppers, and potatoes, red potatoes, to go to the
Going to
chicken.
the brick chicken. And then also some garlic and onions. So now you've gotten the desired color that you want. It's nice and golden. You know, if it's black, that's okay too. You maybe cooked it a little too long. And basically from here, it's gonna go into the oven over top of your vegetables.
One of the things that we're going to try to avoid today with everybody cooking on basically the same areas, we want to try to avoid cross-contamination. Right here we have a raw chicken, and I'm trying to be cautious, and they're also trying to be cautious to make sure that we don't get any of the juice or anything from the chicken into anything else that they're preparing. Basically what I'm afraid of happening when we try to look out for is chicken raw is bad for you. It has a lot of bacteria and it can get you very sick. Some of these products are not being cooked to a high temperature, and this doesn't kill the bacteria that exists within chicken. And this is where cross-contamination comes into a play. You know, sometimes people make the mistake that since they're going to cook everything, that they don't have to worry about cross-contamination. This isn't true. A lot of the bacteria that's on chicken can only be cooked if it's cooked. Can only be killed if it's cooked to a certain temperature. Where this is not true for other things such as maybe potatoes or the shrimp that she's going to make. And so when you're cooking, I just say, please, you know, be careful not to cross-contaminate.
All right, we're back now. Now basically we're going to take our vegetables and we're going to line the bottom of the cookie sheet with them. You can do it just indiscriminately. Doesn't really matter. And this is just the basic white onion. We got some red pepper as well as green pepper. And a little bit of jalapeno for flavor. Now you don't necessarily have to do this, but I'm a sucker for color. I like my food to be colorful. Bologna. Now you want to know? No, not yet. Then you want to place your potatoes over top of all your vegetables. Now normally you can do this in the skillet. You can actually achieve the same effect without having to dirty other dishes. But since we're doing 2 chickens, we're gonna use a cookie sheet, a larger cookie sheet, because they can't possibly fit in this smaller skillet. Feel free to play with this recipe, because you really can't mess this up. Now they're just mincing some garlic to put over top of the potatoes, because I'm a big fan of garlic. Everybody should be. And again, indiscriminately, just place the garlic wherever. And if you got a few extra cloves, just throw them in there. Once you have your potatoes and your garlic and all your vegetables, and everything's on there and ready to go, you can just take your chickens and sit them right over top. And put it in the oven for 25 minutes. Cover it, of course, 25 to 30 minutes, and it should be done. As you can see, when we put them in, they were on a cookie sheet. And I decided that it would be best to put them in skillets and do them individually. This is CHi-TownChefs, and thank you all for watching. Enjoy. All right, eat. Everybody eat.
Garçon. How is it? Good.
I want ketchup, Mike. Give me ketchup. Mommy, give me ketchup. I thought you weren't supposed to be up in school. Yeah. I'm talking about jumping. Talk about me.
Zach. How are you?
Yes.
Nasty. I tell you, tastes really good. Pretty delicious. Delicious. It is.
Huh? Good. Come on, cross.